I have now played Occupy Mars, the game, for over 100 hours, and I must say it is a really good sim and addictive. The problem is there are not many tutorials online, and the few that you will find are not very good. I will be making tutorials like how to grow plants and how to keep your power grid stable over time. But first, 10 tips I wish I knew before I started playing Occupy Mars. When you want to pick things up, you will find some things go straight to your inventory and others go to your character's hands. You can override this behavior by holding down the control key when you pick things up. You don't need to drag items across inventories. You can just control click and items will be auto-stacked when possible. Also, that's how you pick up power cables. There are other modifier keys, but this is just to get you going. When using planters, you will find resource, demand, and supply tabs. Obviously, your plants are happiest when the supply and demand numbers match. There are 4 ways to match them. You can use the arrows, which is the slowest method. You can type them in, you can copy and paste, or you can simply click on the demand box and it will copy the value for you. While exploring, you obviously need your helmet, but when you are inside a building or vehicle with an oxygen supply, you don't need to have it equipped. Dragging the helmet is an option, but you can actually assign a shortcut for the function. I would use this method sparingly on the rover until you have additional oxygen tanks. For the moment, I have only found a few extra bits of gear you can print. A massive one, though, is extra batteries for the rover. This is crucial for long journeys. This, combined with a few other tricks, enabled me to travel about 12 kilometers and collect 15 tablets in about 5 hours. I will make a future video on this. There are a few ways to refill water. You can refill tanks at the front of the well, drink water from the back of the well if it's disconnected, drink from the pump station, and drink from a tank. But my favorite is just to drink from the faucet in the bathroom. Once your own water is refilled, you can also switch to an empty water tank and refill the tank that way. Depending on how you connected pipes to pumps and tanks, the socket will change color and you will not be able to connect that pipe to the right type of tank. But if you go into the control panel, you can change the assignment by simply interacting with it. By default, you can press the Z button to show you interactables nearby. You can change the distance for this, and you can also enable it permanently. This can save you loads of time by not having to open too many unnecessary containers. Sometimes you get to a building and you can't get to something. For instance, I would see much needed boards stuck under a building and I didn't have a high enough leveled grinder to break the building down, so I would be stuck. If this happens to you, try and save the game, close the game, and relaunch it. There's a lot of information on the screen, and this information depends on where you are, what you are doing, where you are looking, or whether you are in first or third person. The radar, though, displays by far the most important information, and later in the game, it will give you access to some really cool features. The well comes with a solar panel but no battery, which means it will run only during the day. Adding a water tank early in the game and making sure your usage is less than the water supplied will probably be the most efficient. Later on, though, you could simplify the planning of your base if you supply it with power at night using a battery. That's it for this video, and keep in mind, the game is still in early access and things might change over time and bugs will be fixed.